Welcome back to Lana's show. Today I'm with my colleague and friend, Andrea Blair, Senior Home Lending Advisor from Chase Bank. And let's figure out how Chase can help buyers to purchase a house in 2026. Andrea, thank you for joining me. And you can see the situations that buyers confused. We come in slightly over the winter, and we want to know, what changes. Buyers exploring different opportunities. So, what you can say from your vision? What you think? Why buyers stuck right now?
Why are buyers stuck right now? I think that's their biggest fear. Everybody's worried about the interest rates, affordability, and really where to start. And that's where, when the customers, it starts with a conversation and making sure that they have the resources and the information about how to move forward, what they need to do to be prepared when that time comes. But the biggest fear, those are the three of the biggest things: interest rates, affordability, and where to start. And that's where I come in.
Yeah, it sounds very much what I can hear from my clients and customers as well. So, what would you say to the buyers who is saying like, okay, let me wait. We're hoping that probably interest rate gonna be better.
Yep. Um, the thing, and that makes sense. I mean, everybody always wants the lowest interest rate. Unfortunately, we can't control what the interest rates are going to be. We can't control the market, but there's things that we can control. We can control the purchase price, the down payment, what is realistic, what are other options out there to help with the down payment to maybe get the lower interest rate, and finding out what resources are there for the borrower. I mean, you don't want to stop. If buying a home makes your life better, we got to figure out how we're going to do that. And that's where I come in, is to help you find that out.
Very nice. That's what we're always trying to do with our clients, to find the best options and provide them many choices so they can make the right choice for their big decision. Regarding that, we're in the beginning of 2026 and it's still winter. Can you see any difference to compare to previous years regarding buyer preparation, financing, buyer's fear, anything else?
Yep. It's actually been a very busy winter, a very busy start to the year, more so than I've seen in many years. And it's like that, what I said earlier, people are finally realizing they can't wait for this interest rate. What happened, 4 or 5 years ago, it's probably not going to happen again. And for their situation, buying a home, it makes their life better. So a lot more conversations about what's out there. And also, too, the prices of homes have what's selling right now is the same as what the home appraises at. So like years ago, when rates were so low, there was a bidding war. So people were overpaying for homes. That has not been happening. People that are in the market are in the market for a reason. They're purposeful in that they want to buy the home. So that's where I think it's different, is that people are not just buying to buy. They're buying because it's the right situation for them, and it makes their life better.
Absolutely. People not buying houses for fun. They have to have a strong reason to do that.
Yes, yes.
And you mentioned that you was very busy at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So what Chase do differently to compare to smaller lenders and different brokers? What you
Yeah.
guys doing differently?
Well, the difference is yes, we are, a large bank, which is a good thing because we have the resources, meaning that, for our finding solutions financially for the customers. Our technology, we have Chase My Home, which is a portal that we use where individuals can actually follow along their entire loan application process. So when things are approved, they can see that as the loan progresses. You can, in Chase My Home portal, you can also check interest rates. There's an affordability calculator. There's a home search that you can do as well. So with the big bank and the technology, the experience that we have, as if you come in our branches, you also feel that small supportive approach. So we have the best of both worlds. You have big bank resources and you have the hands-on experience from the home lending advisors. So makes a significant difference for people going into the home buying process. Whether you're someone who actually wants to physically sit down with me, we can do that. We can meet at a branch. We can talk on the phone. I make sure that we're available for individuals to help them through the process. And so, like on Friday, I met with a young gal. She's 25, wants to buy her first home. Her mom came in with her and sat down, and just having that experience. The mom, who's been a homeowner for years, she even learned so much through that. So, I mean, that is a big difference that we have than from other lenders out there.
So you guys having a lot of technologies, and it's sure process changed through years. When we were working with buyers who sold or purchased houses like many years ago, they also surprised how process changed. Somewhere it started to be much more easy, but from different perspective, it started to be just different.
And it can be for some borrowers. Like, for instance, I had some borrowers right now that they bought their home 25 years ago and they're buying a new home. And so technology, they're not tech savvy. So what happens is they actually come into the branch, they bring their documents into the branch instead of uploading them digitally. And the bankers, we can scan them in for them. So we try to make sure that we can accommodate where any level someone is at.
Oh, great service. I have another question. It's a very interesting one because I heard and people telling that Chase have some grants for some buyers. Can you tell a little bit more about this? What kind of grants? Who you are making those grants? I don't know if location matter. Like who can qualify for those grants?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. It's our Chase Homebuyer Grant. And it's either $2,500 or $5,000. Mm-hmm. And it's a grant. So a grant doesn't need to be paid back. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And it can be for any, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer, but you have to be buying the home as your primary home, a home that you're going to live in, and that you use Chase to finance it because it is our funds that we're giving. There is no minimum income. There's no minimum credit score. It all has to do with the property itself. So where you're looking at is those low to moderate income areas, the area where we're trying to build wealth into those areas for the communities. That Chase Home Buyer Grant, you can actually find out, it's throughout the entire United States. So if you're using that Chase My Home portal, and you're looking at the property searches, it actually will tell you. It will have it's say grant on there, and it will tell you whether it's $2,500 or $5,000.
Okay, it's very, very informative for people who never heard that they can even have opportunity to receive grants.
Yeah. And the grant you can use for down payment, closing costs, buy down points. It is used for anything that's needed for that final amount of money that is needed at closing.
Does Chase has any down payment assistance programs for, I don't know, first-time home buyers or anybody else?
Sure. So down payment assistance programs are administered through the city, county, or state, nonprofits. Chase itself doesn't have down payment assistance programs. But we do allow those for the home buying process. And actually what individuals could do, we do have a website, chase.com/affordability. And if you look under there, it says, I'll have to look it up, but it says affordability, but you can put in an address and it will tell you if that home has a Chase Home Buyer Grant and if any of the Chase approved down payment assistance programs are tied to that property. So that's part of, again, our technology where you could see what other things are associated with that.
Fantastic. So if we will talk about down payment, credit, and pre-approval process, what you would say, how much in 2026 down payment should be for the buyers? It should be only 20%, or it's another options exist? What can be the lowest down payment for the buyers?
Sure. I mean, a VA, a Veterans Loan, that could be zero down. Otherwise, the other option for conventional loan is 3% down. Okay. And you don't have to be a first time, or I'm sorry, there's two different ways. So one, there is the Dream Maker program, and it can be for anybody. You don't have to be a first time home buyer. You can put 3% down, but there are income limits, and those income limits, that income amount depends on what county you're buying in. The other one is just 3% down, but someone on the loan does have to be a first time home buyer. Okay. Say there's two people on the loan, one person is a first time home buyer, one isn't, that's fine as long as one person is. So there are options for that. And those are conventional loans. And of course, there's FHA, which is 3.5% down, and you do not need to be a first time home buyer for FHA.
Okay. What you would recommend people who have a strong income but limited savings? Do you have any extra support or special programs for them?
So one thing when we look at doing a loan, there's certain factors. One is the income. So we have to have income. You have to have some form of assets, meaning assets for the down payment and closing costs. That can come from an assistance program, the grant. It can even come from a gift from somebody. It could be your own money. It could, so that's part of it. And also another part of qualifying for a loan is your credit scores, your credit. So one doesn't supersede over the other. So you still need to meet a benchmark for all of those. But for people who have maybe a lot of income and minimal savings, I would say a lot of times we don't require what's called reserves. So reserves mean after you've brought all your money to closing, that you would have to have so much money after closing in case something happens. With a lot of these conventional loans, we don't require any reserves. But of course, as a home buyer, it's good to have that padding in your savings account for unexpected events.
All right. Let's say average sale home price in Twin Cities right now, 380,000. And I'm working with a lot of clients, first-time home buyers who looking to buy a house about like price range 350, 375,000. This is the best what they can do.
Yep.
And would you or can you recommend or say the information what kind of income they should have even start to be in the process?
Yeah. So typically, the limit is 50% debt to income ratio. And that's your gross income before any taxes are taken out.
Okay.
When I'm doing an application or speaking with someone, a lot of times people say, okay, what's my max? What can I get approved for? Sure. I always start with what's realistic. What is realistic that you can do? And then we can adjust it as needed. But 50% debt to income ratio, that is the limit. Of course, sometimes, that's what we limit, but the individual has to know their situation as well. So let's say someone is going to be having a child going to daycare. Well, we don't take that into consideration for our debt to income ratios, but that individual, we need to talk about that for their own budget and where their comfort zone is. So it's always where we need to have those conversations. Again, if someone is not ready to talk to us yet, home lending advisor, on our Chase app, that affordability calculator, that's a great place to start as well.
Oh, this is wonderful. My actually next question going to be about where people can start, So let's say they exploring options, so they have few lenders on the list. How they need to work with all of them. If their credit score gonna drop, if they work with like few lenders at the same time, what your recommendation gonna be on this? Because they know that they have to have some options and they're looking for the best. What your recommendation to buyers who is shopping around?
Sure. So I definitely would talk to a couple of different companies and find out where your comfort is. Are they responding to you? Are you able to find programs that will match what their needs are? And so, like for instance, if someone is looking to buy a mobile home, that's not going to be Chase. So then they're going to try to find a lender does. But you want to find people that are responsive, that you connect with, that are important to you. There's some people where I have to meet in person. Okay. If they're only digital, then make sure that the lender can accommodate that. But you also want to make sure that their lender fees. I mean, interest rates, as we talked about, obviously are very important, but what goes into those interest rates? And you want to make sure that the lender is transparent and they are giving you the information you need in order to make the best decision. Typically most people do make that lender decision once they've gone under contract on a home, and they'll call back to say, okay, this is the purchase price, my down payment, my close date. What can you do for me? And, give us all a shot and to do the best to earn your business.
Okay, nice. Do you have any advices to people who want to purchase a house, but they cannot make it because of their not great credit score? Sure. Any advices how they can improve credit score faster?
Yeah. So, again, the technology that we have here at Chase, on our Chase app, it is Credit Journey. And Credit Journey is free. And what it does, it takes a look at your credit score for you. And it actually even gives you recommendations on what to do to improve your score. So I know a lot of people go out there and pay for extra services. Obviously that's your choice if you want to do it. But through Credit Journey at Chase, the system will give you can look at your credit report, and it will give you recommendations on how to improve it and how long it will take to get to a certain score. So anything you can do to look at that ahead of time and take those recommendations, I would. And never be late on a payment, if you can.
Wow. This is exciting. I never heard about this. Should you be the client of Chase Bank to download this app, or anybody just can download it for free?
Anybody should be able to download the Chase app. That is a follow-up question for me. I'll have to get verification on that.
Okay.
But obviously having a conversation with me or getting a loan with Chase, you do not have to be a Chase customer.
Wonderful. Questions regarding the grant, but connecting with the sellers. So what about if buyer make an offer? Would this grant make this offer less strong or stronger?
Because it's property specific, it shouldn't make any difference for the seller of the property. They're not paying for the grant, so it doesn't take anything out of their proceeds that they would receive. It actually makes their property more attractive by having it eligible for this grant.
Okay. What Chase gonna do for buyers who need to sell the house and purchase the house? How you helping to plan their timing, and if you even working with buyers like this?
Yeah, a lot actually. We just had one together.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah, it all depends on the individual situation, but there's two solutions. One is that you close the same day. So if you need to qualify, in order to qualify for the purchase of the new home, you have to have sold the current home. So what you can do is actually close on the departing home in the morning and then close on the new home in the afternoon. And the title company can take care of from the money moving from the sale to the purchase. So that's one option. The other option is where individuals want to get into the new home because they have kids or they need to do some improvements on their existing home, whatever it may be. One of the things that we found a solution for, and if the individuals do qualify, would be to put a minimum down payment on the purchase. So in this case, let's say they're putting 5% down on the purchase. And so they purchase the new home. They have to qualify for both homes. So the home that they lived in previously and the new home.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then what individuals are doing is we offer a recast. So people can actually, once they sell their departing home and they have that equity, can put that principal balance down on their new mortgage with Chase. They call customer service, make sure the loan's eligible, and they recalculate the payment for them based on the new balance. It doesn't cost anything. You can do it multiple times, and they redo your payment for you. And that's a great solution as well.
Wonderful. Do you have any story when you was working with the buyer, and let's say this buyer was never thinking that he can afford the house, and it was successful and with purchasing house?
Yes.
Just a short one.
What's that?
Just a short story.
Okay. So no, we did have that where an individual, he wanted to put so much money down. He had the closing costs. He was paying it all on his own. And all of a sudden we're like, well, this property is eligible for the $5,000 grant. And that changed everything for him. So now he was able to put more down, get closer to that payment that he felt comfortable with, and, buy a little bit of furniture too after he had some more money in his savings.
Like little extras all the time to support our clients in any way. I would ask you the last question for today, because people who was watching us, probably they get tired. It's maybe a little bit too long on Sunday afternoon. What your advice will be to the people who just want to start the process? Where do they need to start?
Okay. If a lot of times they're overwhelmed with terminology, we're supposed to start. And I would say the first step is to reach out to Chase, reach out to a home lending advisor. We can explain the process, answer questions, guide them through what to expect. We even have a workbook that has a great resource for how the process works, even talks about terminology. And I think that would be the best place to start that conversation. As I said, let's go back to the online tools with Chase My Home, and starting there to go in there, look at what type of programs are available, the affordability calculator. But just pick up that phone. We're all here to be of assistance. We can all do loans, and can do loans in all 50 states as well.
Let's say if someone wants directly to reach Andrea, where they can find Andrea?
You can call me. My phone number is 612-946-0890. And you can email me at andrea.blair@chase.com, or look me up. We're right there. I'm happy to help out and answer questions. It's my job. It's what I love, is having those connections and those relationships with our customers.
Great, Andrea. I believe it was great conversation, and I'm trying, like you, to help people to feel more confident and find more options, and then they will make a decision what is the best options for them. Thank you very much for joining me this Sunday afternoon. Have a fantastic year. And people who was watching us or who will rewatch this video, you're welcome. Contact Lana or Andrea. We will support and care this process from A to Z to the successful end.
Yes.
Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday, and see you everybody next Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Thanks, Lana.